welcome to Things You Wouldn't Ask in Class. My name is Lindsay Boyson, and I'm a student learning coordinator for writing and academic skills at Nipissing University.
Hi, and I'm Veronica Afonso, the other student learning coordinator for Math and Science University.
That's a good question. I wish more people would ask it. A syllabus is an agreement between you and your faculty member, and it's a really important document because it lets you know what you're going to be learning over the course of the semester. It's going to give you what the learning outcomes for the semester will be, so it'll tell you what you should know or be able to do by the end of the semester. It'll have all of your important due dates, values for assignments, a general description of the course, how to contact the professor, when their office hours are, their email address, all that great stuff. The cool thing about a syllabus, and why I wish more students would kind of check in with it on a regular basis, it's given to you during your first week of class. So the first time you meet with that specific class, or when that course shell opens, that syllabus will be available for you. So you'll know right at the beginning of the semester what's coming up for the rest of the semester, and you can plan accordingly.
Well, the first thing you should do is absolutely ask questions in class. Get your face familiarized to the professor. Get your name known to the professor.
In a good way.
In a good way, yeah. In a good way. From there, usually the professor will expand on how communications between themselves and you will follow. Like, you'll be able to follow the lead of the professor. Go to office hours. That's the next thing you should be doing, is going to office hours and having that one-on-one time with your professor. Lindsay.
The only thing that I would add to it is, a lot of the professors will put out there, like on the interwebs, their area of research interest. So if you're able to find out what your faculty member is interested in, because it may be outside of the scope of the course that they're actually teaching. So if that's an area of interest for you as well, that could be a great icebreaker.
Yeah, for sure. I actually know a student who wrote a research proposal that was one of the class assignments based on finding out what the professor had published in, and ended up actually as a graduate student for that professor.
Well, first of all, don't feel like it's very rare that someone is actually taught how to study. And realistically, studying at the university level probably looks a lot different than studying in another space that you might have been used to, be it high school or college or other educational opportunities that you've had. So don't feel like it's something that you need to come to the university already knowing how to do. I would encourage you to connect for support if you're unsure of how to study, or if you're feeling like the things that you're trying to do are proving kind of ineffective. Because in reality, the way that you study for each class might be different. The approach that you take to your English class is going to be different than the approach that you take to your psychology class or your math class. And really, sometimes it takes checking in either with your faculty member or a support service like Veronica and myself to figure out where your strengths are and how we can capitalize on those strengths so that you're studying in the most efficient way possible across the curriculum. So I would suggest starting with that.
And I'll just add one little piece to that. Your studying should be evolving as you progress through
Totally.
transitioning from first to second to third year. How you study in first year is not how you're going to be studying by the time you're in some of these seminar classes and fourth year. It's going to look very different. It should be evolving.
Absolutely. So it looks different from class to class and from year to year, semester to semester. It's a moving situation, and you should sort of, I guess the real starting point is accepting that it's going to change, and that there is no one way to study. I would also say that a good time not to study is like at midnight the night before. That's a great question, and I do wish I had a one-size-fits-all response to it. I will say that the number of hours that you should spend studying, it's going to be more than what you see on your weekly calendar. So when you get your calendar with the number of hours that you're going to be in class, that's just the in-class time. The studying happens outside of that. There are general rules kind of floating around, but in reality, it's going to differ, again, from course to course, from semester to semester. There may be some classes where, a lot of the work gets done in class and you have very little that you're responsible for outside of that time. And in others, most of the learning is done outside of the class time. So it really does vary quite greatly. I would start by prepping myself for the idea that I have to manage to fit in the work that is required outside of the lecture times, and be flexible and kind of honest with yourself about how much time that realistically is going to take you, while maintaining a sense of balance in your life, because it can't all be school all the time.
Absolutely. No school all the time.
Also
is
not
what
that.
I'm hearing.
Also not that. In my time at the university, I've never worked with a student who intentionally plagiarized. It's an accident, and I've also never worked with a student who wasn't completely devastated that this had happened. It's really stressful. In reality, I would say the best thing you can do is be in communication with your professor to let them know what happened, where your level of knowledge and comfort was when it comes to providing proper credit. And also not just, communicating about that, but finding out how not to do it again. So certainly I work with students in mastering different writing style guides, so you can be comfortable in different areas of study. But communication and figuring out how to make sure that this doesn't happen again, two very important things.